So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this, and welcome to the Down the Lane podcast after yesterday's 2-1 defeat at Cray Wanderers. We'd like to start as a podcast by obviously yesterday we heard the news of our ex-player Queven Castro, who came in at the end of last season, scored on his debut down at Chippenham, and played a number of games at the end of the season for us. He passed away yesterday during a training match, and the thoughts of all of us at the Down the Lane podcast, and I'm sure the thoughts of all the fans at the club as well, are with the family and friends at the moment of Queven. Such a 25 years old, terrible news. So yeah, we wanted to open with that and just pass on our condolences. So moving on to yesterday, Jacob, your first game of the season, a trip up to Cray, a ground I thought was actually really, really nice. I mean, and when you went in and looked at the pictures of how they've developed that ground in sort of 9 months, 9-10 months, whatever it was, I thought it was a great setup there, and I can see why Whiteleaf probably want to play their games there. So yeah. Your thoughts, Jacob, yesterday? 2-1 defeat, but what was your thoughts on the day?
Well, I predicted the score. It was just the wrong way round, wasn't it, really? I said 2-1, but it went the complete other way. No, as you said, Baz, I thought the ground was really good, actually. I was shocked. It was said, like the big screen, they were showing the whole City Man United game, weren't they? So people were watching that while having pints. I think Miles will come on to the food review, I think. So, yeah, it was very nice, according to Miles, apparently. So
yeah, I had something as well.
No, was it? You had something as well. So, but other than the food, which was good, I'll give him that. The performance was dire. If I'm honest, it was not a great game of football for the first 30 minutes between both sides. If I'm honest, it was very cagey. I just don't know what it was. It looked lethargic. I thought for the centre backs and the goalkeeper for both teams, really, especially their goalkeeper, his distribution was horrendous in the first half, especially. So both teams didn't play necessarily well, but the first goal, we absolutely gifted them that. It was absolutely shocking. I don't know what you boys think, but just there was no communication between the backline there. I just don't know what went on. And then obviously the second goal was a free kick. I said to my dad when watching it, I said, this is going in. I just knew from the first minute it was going to go in, and it did. Obviously, we pulled one back at the end, but it was too little too late. And we didn't decide to make attacking substitutions until after 2-0 down, but it was too late. So overall, as I say, we still can't complain of our start to the season, but perhaps this is probably the best thing, maybe in hindsight, you never know, could happen. And it could kick us on from here, because we could say probably in the benefit of hindsight is that it probably has been coming the past 2 games with the way we've been conceding goals, if I'm honest.
Yeah, and we were sitting in the car going up there, me, Miles, and Joe, and we were talking, and I was referring, and to our style of play this year as very much a Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool. We're going to score one more goal than you. But something that I've said on the pod a number of times, and you're going to hear me say this quite a lot this season, is we are the bigger club that's come down. We are everybody's cup final, and Cray up their game a little bit yesterday. They, I said in last week's cast that Cray had only conceded a couple of goals, or 3 goals, whatever it was, and they'd drawn a couple of games, and it was going to be a battle of either us scoring or them conceding. But the one thing I thought about Cray, to be fair, was whether they'd done their homework on our players that have been playing well, in the first couple of 3 games this season. But there was some very strong challenges going in on Kai, and I just think that that was their game plan, and I thought the officiating was a little bit poor. There was a couple of times where the the challenges probably deserved a card, but the card wasn't forthcoming. We had a stonewall penalty. It was right in front of us, and ex-Borough player there, and he was even laughing at us. I mean, he knew he got away with one, right? And so definite penalty. Game could have changed, but I just think poor officiating for me. And the game itself, I thought they were just that little bit stronger, and we didn't rise to the game. We didn't have our best game, but then, I mean, I've seen some people saying it's the worst performance they've ever seen in a Borough, from a Borough team.
I don't know what they're talking about there.
I'm miles away from that. I mean, I've seen some shockers in my time, and I don't have to go back. Some of last season's games, to be fair, were probably a whole lot worse than that. But there we go. That's everyone's entitled to an opinion, but that's just not mine. Miles, your thoughts on yesterday?
It's not even the worst performance I've seen from us in August. Quite a few years ago now, we had Hampton to Richmond opening day and got absolutely destroyed 5-0. I think it was 21-22, so that was a particularly bad day. So I think it's time for a bit of calm. I think it might have humbled us a bit, not even just the players, because obviously we've got expectations to go up, and also the fans. So it could have come at a good time for us, given the fact that I think we're not fortuitous to get 7 points out of 9, but you look at moments in those games we had against Aveley. I think we deserved a point against Aveley. Three Bridges we could have crumbled second half, and then Brentwood I thought we did well enough to win the game, but then Cray makes a save at the end. So I feel like 7 points is probably just about a fair reflection from the opening few, and then we can't keep getting away with conceding 2 goals in games and expecting us to score 3. Because I'm of the opinion I feel like we had enough chances to get something out of the game yesterday. I don't think we were terrible going forwards. I think people are overreacting a bit in terms of our forward play. Like for me, Nash could have had at least 2. Has a great chance back post second half with the header. He had one where he just couldn't make his mind up and just didn't put his foot through it and just tickled the ball into the keeper's arms at one point. Carr had the header first half. I'm probably forgetting a couple of chances there as well. So I feel like we had enough chances to get something out of the game. But it's just they're probably, because it's early season, there's a lack of cohesion in the back line. It's probably one of the main concerns currently, and that's not helped by us having a different back line pretty much every game we've had so far this season. And Freddie and Johnson wouldn't have played together so far, and equally, Carey hasn't played with most of the defenders before. So you're going to have a bit of time to build those relationships. Before Hayden and Sam Ogateo were just fairly solid again. But the back two didn't have a great game for me with Carter and Johnson. The first goal, me and Joe had a bit of a debate, heated debate, in the first half about whose fault it was. And on reflection, I think we probably were both right. Johnson just lets the ball go over his head. Should deal with it early, should not let it bounce. But then Carey again has just done the exact same thing, it seems. I haven't seen it back because I don't Cray release the highlights at all. But it seems like he's done the same sort of thing he did against Brentwood. He just hasn't committed for it. I'm not sure whether he's worried he's going to take them out and then he'll be last man for a penalty and maybe a red card. But as Kingston in his interview, he's got to claim that and be a bit braver. And just put us on the back foot. And to be fair to Cray, they did very well. They had a game plan. I thought they looked well organised, well drilled. And I probably put them too low in my predictions. So get those in first of all, if you haven't already. We've extended the deadline slightly to the end of this week to make sure you get those in and predict the league £50 as a top prize. I think I put Cray about 15th, 16th, only because I didn't know a lot of their signings potentially, but I think they're very smart in what players they get through. Like you look at players like Bamba, who have come to us before, and he was playing lower down beforehand, so I think they're very good at getting those young players in, getting them through the system and developing them. And they did really well. I was impressed by Cray. I was impressed by their fight as well. Like they wanted to work for each other well. And it was a great hit for the free kick, to be fair. I mean, Alex Hernandez is a great player. He's done well at National League South for Aveley before. And I thought in the end they did deserve their win, but I don't think it was as bad as what we made out at the time. It's a blip in the run of form we've had, and we've got a big chance to put it right over 2 games at Bank Holiday.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I think that like you say about Cray, I had him. I've got him a little bit higher up than that, but that was literally because of the players they've drawn in over the time. So, you think when Yo-Yo was playing from, they probably weren't at the ground they're at. But when you look at the facilities that they had around them yesterday, there's a lot of clubs in that local area, right? Maybe a step down, or a couple of steps down, or maybe even a step above. And London has a lot of a lot of football clubs in a concentrated area. And you can quite see why people might actually want to be playing for a team like that, with the facilities they've got, with the plans, because I believe they've got plans to make it even bigger along the side and along the back there where that banking is. Apparently that's going to be a stand, but it's already naturally banked up. One of their guys was telling me, and they've got plans to move out into the car park as well. So yeah, I think with the first go on with you, Miles, I was sort of sat there. I never got involved when you and Joe were, and I know you tried to sort of, what were your thoughts, Baz? And I'm like, do you know what? It was up the other end. I think
it's hard to tell, isn't it?
I think there's a bit of both there, but I think what we've got to understand is the fact that I probably, if I wanted to put a man of the match on yesterday's performance from either team, I would probably have picked their keeper, because I thought he made 3 or 4 fantastic saves. And when they win 2-1, just one of them letting them in, it saved them 2 points. So I made him their man of the match. I thought he was a great player, certainly one to look out for. Just for me, I kind of agree with what you've said there, and a bit of what Kingy said in his interview as well, and what he said in previous interviews. It's all right us sitting there saying, oh, we could have had 6. First half against Three Bridges, we could have been 6 or 7 up at half time, and we weren't. We're 3 up because we were missing chances. And the problem with conceding goals is, and Joe said it on the way up there, the problem with conceding goals is you're going to get the games, or was it you that said it, Miles? You're going to get the games.
No, it was Joe.
It was Joe.
Yep.
You're going to get them games where you can't score them goals, and you're going to have to grind out the little 1-0 wins and stuff like that. And if you're conceding 2 goals, you can't grind a 1-0 win out. So yeah, I think like you say, probably lessons learned. And Kingy said that in his interview. He said that there are lessons to be learned, and players need to know that they may have come down a step in football. They may have stepped down a league, and they may be very big name players, which we know they are in our league. But it doesn't give them a God-given right to win football matches, and it doesn't give them a God-given right to win the league. But I don't listen. No panic stations from me. I'm still happy. We've got a couple of games coming up. Obviously, one on Bank Holiday Monday that, we all want to win. But when I looked at the league table, it's very funny because they're both on level points with us now, and it's like us 3 together. So we couple of games. So let's start with Saturday, Miles. We go to you first. The visit on Saturday of Leatherhead.
Yeah, before we go on to that, there was a bit of frustration when I think with the lack of substitutions from King second half. I think that's important. We touched on it.
I think that was a frustration from. Sorry, Miles, to interrupt you, but I think that was a frustration from everybody. From what I was standing with you and Joe, and then my dad was not happy with that as well. But we were all chatting to most of the second half. Shout out to the linesman. We were standing near the other. He was
shout out to the linesman.
He was a very, very funny guy. I'll give him that. Enjoyed a little bit of the banter.
He was giving it back, wasn't he?
He was hilarious, wasn't he? But yeah, going back to your point, that's the bit I found frustrating. And as you mentioned, Baz, we thought, and I said it pre-match. I thought this was the game where we were going to show that we could grind out. These are going to be the different type of performances from the first 3 games, but that's what disappointed me a little bit. Obviously, I'm not, screaming, ranting, raving. Obviously, it's not nice to lose, and this is probably maybe if we go on to win the league or win the playoffs, this is probably the power of hindsight of this is probably the best thing that happened. Let's have it earlier now than later. It's kind of like, you might understand this, but when Liverpool lost a couple of seasons ago to Forest because they won their first 3 games and then they went unbeaten for 22 league games after that and win the league, sometimes losing early in the season gives the kick up the backside that the players need. So perhaps that could be the catalyst for Sharpen,
Yeah, but on the subs, I think that was King's way of saying that he doesn't have what he feels like quality off the bench. But then saying that, all 4 of the 5 substitutions he had were all his players. So I'm not going to say about Gold again because that's been covered on another podcast. He's given 3-4 minutes to make an impression anyway, which is very.
It wasn't enough time for him. Not enough time.
Not at all. But I think that was King's way of saying that he feels like he needs some more players in. But then, like I say, saying that, Wilson, who's great him to get off the mark, I think he's going to be a big player for us at some point this season. Wilson, Bellamy, Sheaf and Phillips, they're all his signings. So, maybe that's the message. Needs more depth. I'm not sure, but it felt weird to me that we were 1 then 2-0 down. Well, we were 2-0 down and brought on the subs, weren't we? That was the point that triggered it. Yeah. Which at that point is 86th minute, and the game's pretty much gone at that stage. But yeah, we do need a bit more impact from the boys that come off the bench. We need to see a bit more from the likes of Bellamy. He comes on, he works on, he runs around, but we need to see a bit more quality sometimes to replace players like Egbury. Who I thought was quite unlucky. I thought he was getting fouled quite a lot. He got battered and bruised, Egbury, but he didn't give up, and the quality he's got from the couple of games he has played. So hopefully he gets his rhythm back. But that's my point on the subs. I think we need a bit more from them on the bench to change games. So moving on to Saturday, we got Leatherhead, who've had a pretty good start. They got absolutely smashed at the weekend. Surprisingly, by the most rogue team in the league, which is Malden Tiptree. You never know what we're going to get from Malden Tiptree. 1 week again, spanked 6-0, and the next game they're beating someone else 4-1 who's had a very good start. I think Leatherhead prior to that hadn't lost the game, so and they won the league, didn't they, in the Southern Central last season? So they're coming off a bit of a high, like Three Bridges were. I think at home, I'm confident of the result, just based on the fact of our last 2 home performances where we've been very good. Not for the whole game, but we've had half an hour, 45-minute spells of being superb at Priory Lane. So I expect us to have enough to get past Leatherhead. I think we should probably see a bit of rotation on Saturday potentially, given the fact we've got a short turnaround into Lewes. So I expect to see maybe a few changes. But largely the key boys will be starting, your likes of Corbett and Eastman, Reese, etc. They'll still be in the sides. I'd like to see Phipps back if he's fit. I'm not sure what stage of the recovery he's at. It'd be great to get him back in the heart of defence. What's your boys' thoughts? Are you boys both going first of all? Not sure about. I imagine Baz will be, but Jacob, you go.
Yeah. Festivals are calling. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh yes, I forgot. The Reading is coming up.
The Reading is coming, yeah. So while you boys will be watching Leatherhead, I will be watching. I don't know who will be on.
You'll be getting levered.
I'll be getting levered. And I'm not saying it lightly.
Levered.
Yeah.
It'll already be levered. And are you? So just carrying on with Saturday. Yeah, I think. Again, we're going to be up against a team that are going to come down, and they're going to see the facilities we've got, and they're going to know we're that bigger side, and so we've just got to get our game together. But hopefully, sometimes you get that kick up the bum, which hopefully was yesterday, and we may I don't know, we may see a new face or two in the week. We never know, and hopefully we can pick the game up next week and get another home victory against Leatherhead. And then we move on to, of course, the game that we all want to talk about. I don't know, Jacob, whether you're going to be back for it. I know you said you might get the early train. But
it depends.
bank
It depends
holiday.
if the trains are running. That's the problem.
Oh, of course, yeah. But I think you go via Brighton. If you went down to Brighton and come across to Lewes,
Yeah,
they're all good.
I'm trying to find a way. I'm pretty sure I'll try.
But obviously, the bank holiday Monday, Lewes away. A fixture that
It's huge.
For
Massive.
a lot of us will, we'll remember some big fixtures against Lewes in the time. Obviously, Kingy was manager over there for some of that time as well. So, lots of, and I'm sure it's going to be quite a noisy atmosphere on Monday. I think you will have a lot of people that maybe don't normally sing, maybe enjoying it because, especially if we're winning, I think we're going to want to let the whole of Lewes know that we will be beating them. So, we move on to Lewes. I don't see a problem with either game, to be fair. I think they're winnable games. I think, but in saying that, they're winnable games with the quality we've got, with the structure we've got, with the management we've got, with the players we've got. They're definitely winnable games, but we need to manage it in the right way, and we need to look at maybe a little bit more of how we as a club deal with the fact that we are everybody's. We're the big name in the league for everybody, and I know I've said it a million times, but
If we had
for
a
me
pound.
that is one of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a shot every time Baz says it on the pod.
For me, that is one of the massive things that we are going to be having to contend with the whole season. And so as such, as that is something that we're going to have to deal with, we need to know how to manage that. We need to know how to, maybe we need a little bit more shithousery about us at times, with challenges and stuff like that. Maybe we, but there we go.
I suppose I have a question for you boys. Do you think they're going to put more effort into the Lewes game than you think the Leatherhead game, as you alluded to earlier, Miles? Do you think, with all suggested changes for Saturday, do you think they're going to put all their eggs in one basket for Lewes, which could be bad because then we could lose the concentration for Leatherhead on Saturday?
No, I think King knows that 3 points is 3 points, whether that's to local rivals or another side like Leatherheads. I don't think it'll make a difference personally.
No, and I think more with the rivalry, it's going to be more off the pitch. I think, both Lewes and Barrow have had fans that have been supporting them and watching them for years and years, and watching local football for years. And I'm sure that being a bank holiday Monday, there'll be a lot of, there'll be a lot of impartials as well that will have gone to, Lewes Eastbourne games before. But I think more it'll be off the pitch. The rivalry. I don't think Lewes. We've not played them for a number of years now. So it's, for me, that it's not as big as. And I think a lot of the players probably won't. Just be a local derby for them. Obviously Kingy will have his feelings on it and his moments of wanting to get out there and do one over on them. But then, I mean, he's going to have that a few times this year, right? I mean, we've got Dartford in the league and God knows who else, he's going to
Welling,
he's
Whitehall
been before. So, yeah. No, I think, I just think it'd be a good atmosphere. And hopefully a big gate for Lewes, because obviously we all saw that the thing that came out last week about the taxman trying to wind them up and the numbers not being in on time. So hopefully it gives them a good payday, because no one wants to see any football club in financial trouble,
No.
Yeah. So for me, I think yeah, I'm just looking forward to the day. Really, and I'm actually looking forward to it. Where I might actually be able to go to a Lewes Eastbourne game wearing shorts because they're normally like Christmas and Boxing Day, or they used to be. But Boxing Day and New Year's Day.
It should be a massive crowd, you'd have thought.
Yeah, well, I mean, even my nephew lives with me. Said, "Oh, I'm coming over to watch Borough on Monday," and I said, "Well, you want to make sure you get your ticket." And he sort of looked at me bewildered, laughing. I said, "No, look, we've only got 850." I said, and I think we'll.
I don't think we'll sell it out, but I
don't think we'll sell it out. But
6.
I think we'll be close. I think we'll be close. I mean, there must have been. I reckon there must have been 250 of us there yesterday up at Cray, and that's going into London. So at the end of the day, when it's a bank holiday Monday and it's just a zip on the train from Eastbourne, Polegate, or Hampden Park, 10 minutes up the road, and also, I mean, Lewes are quite lucky with that, with the ground being right by the train station. It's not like if you come to Eastbourne on the train, you got to get into Eastbourne, then you got to get out to the ground. It's right there on the doorstep, right? You just come out of the station before you finish your fag. You're paying to go through the gate, So, yeah. So, all good for me. I think we'll have a good number of supporters there, and hopefully we'll come back next week talking about 6 points.
I'm excited too about playing on the grass pitch for the first time this season. With Lewes, with their luscious, high quality grass. Interested to see how we play on that.
I saw a picture of it the other day. It does look in really good nick as well.
No, it's a great pitch, isn't it? It's a great pitch, and I think we should have enough to beat them. Obviously, you don't know what's going to happen with derby games, but I think for the players, there's not a lot of local players in this side. Obviously, we've got Ty and Freddie, etc. But they won't remember, or neither do I, when we played Lewes back in late noughties, early 2000s. So I don't think it'll be a massive influence. And they would just be the crowd. But for the end of the day, pressure is a privilege. We're obviously everyone's quote unquote cup final, but that comes with the expectation that we've got a very, very good squad, and there's a reason we've got that tag. It's because we're a big club for the level, and we've got a lot of really high quality players who have got at the end of the day not put their money where their mouth is. That's the wrong thing to say in terms of deliver for their price is what I mean. Players like Josh Reed, etc., Liam Nash, Darren McQueen.
There it is. Reputation. There's the Josh Reed mention of the pod.
Yeah, it's got to happen, mate. It's that star boy. That star boy. That star boy, mate. Let me enjoy my same surname player.
But did we face him in the Sussex Senior Cup 2 seasons ago, though?
Yeah, but it's not the same. This is the first time I'm actually excited for a game.
But it's just like we haven't faced him for ages, but we did face him in the Senior Cup. That was a funny night. Those who were there, those who were there now, that was hilarious. Just saying shoot from the halfway line after going 2-0 up.
McBride hit the post, hit the bar off kickoff, didn't he? Class laid into me, just smashed it off the bar inside 3 seconds. That was quality. But my only concern with Lewes is, from what I've seen from them, they look pretty good on transition. Off the counter attack. I think that's be their main threat. And they got decent managers. The guy went to Tunbridge, wouldn't he? But then he's come back now. I think it's Craig Nelson. Top of my head, I probably got that wrong. But yeah, they were good under him before, and they've had a slower start, but they have picked up some steam in the last couple of games. Winning against Whiteley for the weekend, and St Albans away they went to and won, which is not an easy game to beat. And they go to Aveley before they play us, so they've got a very tough bank holiday. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on against Aveley beforehand. And also we play Charlie Walker as well, don't we, at Lewes? Charlie Walker is obviously our ex-captain. Great player for us for a good number of 5-6 years. We had Charlie Walker for, so it'd be good to see him. Hopefully he didn't score. Please don't score, Charlie.
Oh, that'll be the most thing, wouldn't it?
Probably, scores. Yeah. If he does, don't celebrate at least.
We need to do some predictions of scores, but before we do that, we'll just have a quick word from our sponsors.
Hi guys, I'm Gary. I'm the owner of Polegate Car Sales. If you're looking to buy or sell your vehicle anywhere in the country, I am your man. We're open 7 days a week. Sunday is appointment only. but Ben works 6 till 10, any hour God sends. We look forward to seeing you soon.
So thanks to Gary there down at Polegate Car Sales. And like I say, if you do go in and see him, give us a mention. It does help us and helps him know where you're all seeing his adverts. So predictions, Jacob, Leatherhead at home Saturday. Prediction, please.
Oh, it's a tough one to predict. I'm not going to predict a clean sheet. Is it worth doing that?
It's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. I'm going to be optimistic because I need to be, but also want to be. I'm going to go 3-1. 3-1 win.
Miles?
We bounce back in style of a 4-0 win. That's what I'm going for.
Clean sheet.
Yeah.
Clean sheet.
I was going to go exactly the same, Miles, at 4-0, but just to be a little bit different, a little bit in the middle of you two, I'm going to go for 3-0. So then we move over to Lewes on Bank Holiday Monday. Obviously, big derby for us, but you know, and I'm going to go. I think we'll beat them. I think we'll beat them comfortably. So I'm going to go for a 3-1 victory over there, and we'll go back in reverse order. So we go Miles to you first, seeing as though you were.
Back down to earth, I'm afraid. I just don't know. I've just got this bad feeling about it. I'm not sure. Don't know. I think we'll get a draw, personally. I'm going 1-1.
Miles is banned from the dripping pan. Jacob?
You're trying to be sit on the fence as per usual, Miles.
That's the first draw I predicted all year.
To be fair, I'm close on that one. Would you take a draw? Just before I put my prediction, would you take a draw?
No.
No.
No, but I think I don't know. It's so tough to call in it. I can see us not turning up and then them having a fun day because, as Barry said, they'll want to beat us. Like that's their derby. It's their derby as much as it's ours, and they're at home, etc. So they'll be up for it too, and I imagine their fan base will be as well. So yeah, I think it could go anyway that game. I think we'll win Saturday, but I think Monday's really really hard to call.
Yeah. I'm gonna predict a win, but it's gonna be 2-1. I think we'll win 2-1 and a Josh Reese winner.
Josh,
the boy.
Hey,
there you go.
Hey, he's in his second podcast, Miles, and he's
we're already converting him.
He's even trying to predict who's going to score the winning goals now. I mean, we struggle. We struggle
to get one right first, mate.
To get a score right. Yeah, we haven't got one right in 2 seasons.
All right. If it's 2-1, and it's a Josh Reese winner, I promise I'll buy everyone a drink. How about that?
Hang on a minute.
What sort of drink?
Are you talking about everyone on this screen, or are you talking about everyone that's there? Remembering that we've got 850 tickets, Jacob.
Well, to be fair, I'll be bankrupt if I have to buy 850 pints, but you know, not made of money.
Bankrupt, Jacob, make it happen, Josh.
So anyone that watches the podcast, Jacob said it, but no.
If we get a penalty last minute, do not give it to Kai Corbett. Give it to Josh. Don't give it to Kai.
Give it to Josh.
That's the thing about. I was going to mention Kai actually. I'll say I think for as much as praise as we given him, he was a bit erratic yesterday.
He lost his head. He did a chipping him away, unfortunately, where
he
didn't get stuff going for him, so he decided.
The annoying thing, it wasn't a foul. The one he actually went flying in for.
It was the intent, though, wasn't it? He's one of those players. He's one of those players. You got a bit of control on him, haven't you? Sometimes, like obviously, you want him to express himself and show that flair and personality on the pitch. Don't take that away from him. But at the same time, you just got to remind him that 90 minutes is a long time to win a football match. If you don't get your way in the first 25 minutes, it's not the end of the world. You've got to keep plugging, keep taking on your man, and good things will happen. But yeah, I think he lost his head, and I think he was right to be subbed, if I'm honest. So, yeah.
Totally agree. Right, so guys, this one's obviously a little bit early this week. We are going to start trying to record on a Sunday or a Monday. We won't be back next week, though, until after the Lewes game, being a bank holiday week. Sorry. We won't be back next week until after the bank holiday weekend. So we'll be back after the Lewes game, which is why we've included that one in today. And obviously, everyone will then be another 2 games on the league table. And obviously, it will start taking shape. So we'll have a detailed look at the league table and our upcoming opposition and where they're currently standing in the league table then. So thanks for today,
And FA
Miles.
Cup
Thanks,
draw as well.
Jacob.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, we've got the FA Cup draw tomorrow, so we'll be talking
Mhm.
about that next week. Keep your ears out. Obviously, no one in there to mention yet. But obviously, again, we're going to be the big name that probably everybody wants. Everybody wants a big club. And I'm sure there are certain people that are thinking they'd like to be playing us. So, yeah. So, like I say, guys, thanks for tonight. I'll see you on Saturday, Miles. You'll be handbagged, Jacob. So enjoy your weekend away. And
I'll send you
we'll
boys
see
some
you-
videos in the group chat, and I'll see how it's going.
Yeah, well,
Singing
yeah,
to Charlie XXXX after 4-0 win.
I'm your
Love to
number
see
one,
it.
especially with Borough. There you go.
Yeah.
Get that reference in
and,
there.
And Miles, I'll see you Saturday. And thanks for watching, guys. See you all soon. Up the sports.
Up the sports.
Oh, the Borough.